Hello, Keyforge fans. We are so excited for the KAGI Top Cut with Not2Night, aka Goki on TCO, and Moosemandude. Uh, Letting them know to rock and roll. I, of course, am Zach Armstrong. So excited to be coming with most co-commentating is people who know
Uh, Hi everyone, I'm Aaron, aka Orion Middling, or we'll call it inconsistent.
Yes,
YouTube and Twitch
I was
channel.
about to say, there's no such thing as a middling Keyforge channel because whoever's making Keyforge content is doing so out of pure, unadulterated love and obsession. Can you not hear us? Let me diagnose. All right, is it a volume issue or can you not hear us at all? What is your
Is it me?
specific issue? Sounds better now.
Yeah, I think we're
Good now. Okay,
Sweet.
great. But chat, just keep me updated there. Thank you so much. This had really had to dust things off here. So jumping into a play-by-play real quick. It looks like Moosemandude and started with Relentless Creeper. And forgive me, I did not do deck analysis, so we'll do that live as we go here. Relentless Creeper, nice to have that out early. If there's going to be any combos with it, memory chip,
Yeah, we do see the Reclaim by Nature hitting the memory chip early. So if you all haven't played against Not2Night's wreck a lot of different things, it's a awesome deck, but it does rely a lot on kind of setting up the big plays with lookups archiving. So we'll see how she handles that. While we're moving to charge up and see which is just unfortunate.
That's right. Lazarus, is that audio crackling just on one of us or both of us? So Moosemandude with taking up the Time Traveler and Floof boosting that Nephilim discard into the discard pile. Moosemandude has about 50 bajillion creature control.
Yeah, which is interesting. They discarded the Fangtooth Cavern. I guess they're expecting most of Not2Night's creatures to be bigger, just with all the big Brobnar and Untamed stuff. But I mean, Untamed has like the Dusk Witch, so that's an interesting call for me to see the Fangtooth get discarded. But just gonna trust the player knows their deck,
right?
And we'll see what happens.
All right, Ryan, I'm going to lean on you for commentary while I attempt to live fix our audio here.
Okay. Just keep an eye on those comments on there to see what's going on. But we do have an Untamed turn here, getting the Nepenthe Seed down, which is good, but we'll probably see the ball. So interesting choice from Not2Night to even play the Nepenthe Seed there with the borrow and double reclaim. But I mean, usually you just play it out, hoping to use it the next turn. Turns out very unfortunate there. So that'll probably be huge. That could really come back to hurt, but we'll just we'll see what happens here. We do have a couple more artifacts coming down. The first Gambling Den. So again, we didn't get a chance to talk through these decks too much before the game, but double Gambling Den on Moosemandude's side, which is just it makes for a lot of fun, but also really changes the dynamic of the game, because like you were saying before we started, Zach, you can get on check at like 2 amber if you're confident on what the top of the deck is. That being said, we don't really see any of that like Star Alliance top of deck peaking, so not necessarily going to be super consistent, but let's see if there's any other combos with it here.
And quick technical question, Orion. What microphone should we be using for you? Is it the Yeti?
Yes.
I'm okay. You probably have a Chrome notification asking for Yeti access.
Oh, really? Oh, here we go. Okay, how's that?
Oh, brilliant.
Better?
Yep. Oh my gosh, that's what the noise was. It was just the room was picking up your.
Oh, the wrong mic. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. I just learned. So, sorry, viewers. Learning. It has been a year since I've streamed. So yeah, drum not going off there.
Yeah, while that's happening, very big play. And this is, I mean, Rector's main strength is this Drummer Ganger Chieftain combo. Being able to get it off against this pretty empty board. They don't have a lot of big creatures on Moosemandude's side, so this is a fairly consistent combo if you can dodge the, like, what do we say, 25 creature control?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot.
But we'll see how much burst we get here. There's not too much to punish it on Moosemandude's side, so really this is all about just the timing of getting the Ganger Chieftain back in hand or leaving it exposed.
Right. And Not2Night perhaps is simply counting. Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And chat should be back focused on the match. Let me know how that sound is going. Might be a touch loud.
Yeah, and I can always turn my gain down too.
I've been
messing with that a lot. Yeah, I guess again back to that decision there. Not2Night does also have the double regrowth and stuff, so like she knows what she's doing better than I do with this deck. That it could just be more of like a cycling issue at this point.
Yeah, that's and notable. We're seeing the gambling den on Moosemandude's side. This is a double gambling den deck, so we're going to look out for the turns when Moosemandude, especially if Moosemandude already knows what's on the top of the deck from a previous gambling den. That card stays there, and that's 4.
Yeah, we did see there. He chose not to use it, so he actually has self-restraint with it.
That's right. That's right. It's strategic thinking to use the gambling den the right way. And chat, if you'll just give me a positive thumbs up or a in chat. I got a yummy sound from voice, which is great. Just looking forward to it. So there's our first key of the match on Not2Night's side, straight into Logos with the issue.
Oh no.
Oh, mercy. Happening here.
Okay, so going into Logos, and we do see the Drummer Knot on top of the discard, but choosing not to hit that with the ZYX Researcher, so they're just going back. Again, this, but she also plays it in like NKFL, so she knows what she's doing. That's an interesting decision there, though, so I'm gonna write it down. Just trying to see exactly what the thought process is of what is below creature count, and all of the creature control means like if you can get the Brobnar turn to go off more than once, that is going to be the burst you need to win this. But it seems like she's playing a little bit more of a long game, so we'll see what they've gone, because that's what Moosemandude's deck does. It does get shuffled back in though, so shuffling back in the ZYX Researcher is a little bit of an advantage for Not2Night there. Do see the Nepenthe being popped for a reclaimed to hit the... What did I even hit? Oh, the Gauntlet of Command. So Also a big bummer. But again, with Ganger, Chieftain, and the discard and all those regrowths, there should still be a way to get that combo back in action. But we'll just see where we check on Moosemandude's side now at 7. And Not2Night's deck has almost no Amber control aside from like the cutthroat researches, so this will probably be a key. Actually, unless because there's no way to get back a Ganger Chieftain to Groke right now, which is the mistake I made. Because I also got to play Not2Night in our pod, same as JDG from the other day, and Not2Night with Groke. Like against like my 1 creature when I was at 6 Amber for check for the 3rd key, and it lost me the game and it hurt. You see a Gambling Den to reveal Dusk Witch and gain 2 Amber, so a nice little burst there for I guess. But again, win con for Rector is probably just going to be to get Amber as fast as possible, so it's still an interesting decision. And then we just see a little bit of Brobnar coming down here, trying to push Moosemandude into using more of that creature control. The one thing about the creature control is you have 5 board clears in the dis alone, 3 of which give you chains. So it'd be really interesting to see how much of that gets held or discarded against this kind of really bursty Brobnar line, because those chains can be enough where a deck with very low Amber control can still win just because your deck is going so slowly. But going into Shadows, we haven't seen too much Shadows yet from Moosemandude, so we get a Vandalize here. I'm trying to think what targets you go for in the Vandalize now. Second Drummer Knot is probably a big one, and then maybe some of those Untamed pieces that can bring back that combo. But again, based on Not2Night's like archiving choices so far, I wonder if she's got a different game plan than just getting that Drummer Knot combo out. So I'm really interested to see how. There's been some decisions already that I'm sure are good decisions, but I don't necessarily understand the reasoning behind.
All right, chat, I'm gonna start talking again. Refresh what I could. So, whew. Fantastic.
Okay. Let me know if you need anything from me, Zach.
Yeah, will do. I believe we've got everything actually switched over to your Yeti microphone, so we should be good there.
Sweet.
For Endurly, thanks for the follow. Oh no, that was earlier. Somebody just did something, and I don't have notifications.
It was like Scandalosis. No. It's possibly some spam bot.
Yep, banning. They're gone.
So I'm just gonna write down in general for the interview, Gambling Den, when you don't use it, because both of these players are making interesting decisions there. So we just have a failed Gambling Den from Not2Night. They're losing the 2 Amber they got last turn.
Yeah. Okay, we got some sounds good there from Sloppy and Lazarus. Thank you very much, y'all. And Amber Meaty's in the chat. Welcome, Amber Meaty's. If you haven't seen Amber Meaty's latest overview of House Mars and their weirdness, their uniqueness among other houses in Keyforge, definitely go check out that latest on YouTube, the Amber Meaty's YouTube channel.
So we've got the Teliga and Duskwitch coming down now. Again, Moosemandude isn't really short on answers for this. It's really kind of down to what answers he decides to use.
That's right.
Secret Needle is an easy answer for the Dusk Witch, but the Teliga is a little bit more interesting. Could just be a Skixuno to just wipe the board, but we'll see. And we did see a regrowth for the Ganger Chieftain. Very notable.
Yes, very notable. Very notable. Let's see. What happened to that second Gambling Den? It was discarded. Okay.
Wow, with 2 Amber Pips too. I mean, just not wanting to give Not2Night the advantage there.
That's right.
It's really interesting to bring a double Gambling Den deck and not play both though. So
Moosemandude in discarding Relentless Creeper and Drekker. I wonder if that means. Yep, there's the Skixuno.
So really interesting choice there, because if you play the Creeper and the Drekker, Skixuno goes to 7 power instead of 5.
Right.
Which turns off the Ganger Knot combo, at least to an extent, unless you have some other Brobnar creatures to fight with.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one to write down, because sometimes there might be some situation Moosemandude is thinking to avoid, or perhaps he wasn't looking quite that far ahead. Unsure.
Yeah.
There's certainly some reasons to make a creature a specific power, depending on what the opponent has.
Ooh, and we do see the reshuffle with the Help from Future Self. I was just about to look at what Brobnar creatures Not2Night might still have, and now I can't.
An important tempo moment for that deck, I'm sure. Ooh, Project ZYX and Director of ZYX, that is cool. If both of those live, that is going to be the ZYX machine. Not something I've seen in a whole lot of top tier competitive decks, but it's exciting nonetheless to maybe see a ZYX play.
Oh, and we do get a Gambling Den from Moosemandude here finally. I think that's the first time he's actually used it.
Okay.
And it goes off with the Cephaloist.
That's right, because Moosemandude did draw 4 cards at the end of the last turn, not flipping the deck at all. So that was likely a good guess, and we'll see if Moosemandude holds. And maybe, I'm not sure if it's just worth the 2 Amber, but Moosemandude might hold here. Although I'm not sure if that's going to be worth it to figure out how to not draw any cards. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, well, so a Gateway does it, right? Because that'll get you the 3 chains, and if that's all you play. But again, I think you're not stopping the Amber at that point. So it's a tough situation, I think, for Moosemandude here, because you do need to answer this board. We have, as Amber Meaties pointed out, the entire ZYX suite, but the 2 especially that you were saying, Zach, do work really well together.
That's right.
So we do see Disc called here.
Relentless Creeper and Archives happening. Skixuno, Gateway, Relentless Creeper, Brabble. Okay, so yeah, Moosemandude is going to draw up here. They did, get the Untamed of the Gambling Den. So that's 4 Amber.
They did draw at least 1 card, though, correct? Because it was Archives and Relentless Creeper, which is already in the discard. So they do know the top of deck is...
That's right. Same
the stuff
number of
still.
draw pile. Yep.
So, I mean, cool. Like,
so
Moosemandude knows what he's doing with this deck.
Yes, that's right.
And again, no real options from Not2Night for stopping that. So,
yep. Not2Night getting the second key there. Nature's Call. Probably going to bounce. Yep, bouncing the Relentless Creeper and the Brabble. Grove Keeper and Dusk Witch coming down. I do love a good Dusk Witch next to a Grove Keeper.
Yeah.
It's honestly huge to get power onto a Dusk Witch like that.
Especially with that Secret Needle sitting in the corner there.
Yep, there's that sneaky check paying off. Shoulder it into Secret Needle may take care of the Dusk Witch. That's right. Okay.
Ooh, and a Bow Nithing for a little bit of steal there. Not2Night was only on 1 Amber, correct? Or was she on 2?
Ended with 2 Amber at the end of that.
Okay, so yeah, full 2 steal there.
Dude succeeding at the sneaky check, up to 3 Amber now. Over to
the Shoulder Id. Well, I guess with 0 Amber, the Shoulder Id isn't quite as relevant against Brobnar, but...
Yeah, not as quite. If there is a combo to pop off there that is not a board that would stop that.
That is quite the turnaround there. I feel like That just switched really fast. We do get the gambling den going off with
Right.
Not2Night guessing right again. With 19 cards in deck is pretty good, but you kind of have to get the check here, right? Because this.
Yeah, this is I mean, for the ideal tempo play, getting to check here would be great. Would be really good. Moosemandude.
Well, yeah.
As far as amber control options go, the BO3's already down. There's a Techno Fiend that can ping one, but there's not a ton of amber control, I think, in either deck.
Right. We do have the Brabble that we know is still in hand, but along with the hand thing, we do actually have only 2 cards coming down, and we're at 7 with 3 chains. So he can Gambling Den with Perfect Information again next turn. So he's going to be starting the turn with 5.
Lava Ball to preserve. Very nice. Lava Ball to preserve Foozle. So Foozle can get that extra bonus amber off of the Reap from the
and we have the Drummer Knot.
Survive, and the Drummer Knot combo. Very smart sequencing from Not2Night here.
Wow.
Very smart sequencing.
That was,
impressive sequencing.
Brutal. And that'll be, I mean, with another, we should have one more Foozle proc at the end here. That'll be a good chunk of amber.
That's right. That's a smart call there, Orion.
Yeah, and like you were saying, there's really no great answers. We do have Infernus, but I mean, you're not seeing anything with more than 1 pip on it on an deck. Right. So
I think going up to 10 amber here, I think is likely to close out game 1.
Wow, so, very well done.
That known Gambling Den, of course, 1 amber short of Sneaky Check. Let's see what Moosemandude has. Relentless Creeper, Brabble, Gateway to Disc. That might be the play out concession. And yep, that is it going over. Even on a miss on a Gambling Den, would not matter there.
Yeah.
Oh, and and as it's showing here, I do want to shout out my local Keyforge team, the Athens Forge Masters, adorning our TCO background on stream at least.
That is a great symbol.
Thank you. I've got the logo off of an online service. Hired somebody online.
Nice. So,
yeah. We have jerseys that we're going to be ordering as soon as we go play IRL.
I love it.
So of course, game 2 of a best of 3 adaptive, which is really true adaptive. But I do love best of 1 adaptive. So the players have swapped decks now. So Not2Night handling this double Gambling Den deck with all the creature control that did just lose. So it was close. So if Not2Night can play to her deck's weaknesses, beating it with this deck, there's a chance, of course, of going 2-0, one of the biggest flexes in Keyforge, winning an adaptive match 2-0. Rector, of course, having taken that, and I think with some lucky draws, Rector might be able to just sprint past what Blitzler could do here. So we'll see how it goes. What do you think is going to happen in Game 2, Orion? You think it'll look similar, or you think we're going to have some wildly different variants for Game 2?
I mean, Rector is not an easy deck to play. I think a big thing is going to be seeing how much early archiving Moosemandude can get. We can see he took first turn. My guess is trying to get some of that.
Of course.
Oh, no. What?
Gave first turn.
Oh, chooses to go second. Sorry.
Chose to go second, yeah. And Drekker right off the bat. I like that. There's plenty of creature removal, of course. Oh, no, excuse me, in the deck they're playing. So yeah, like seeing that Drekker early, especially with some amber on the board, but the Nature's Call will deal with that.
Yeah. Kind of a interesting start with the Untamed. I mean, getting 4 cards. 3 cards?
Yeah.
3 cards out of hand is not bad, but the Nature's Call especially is... It's an interesting tool in there for sure, and to sort of see that gone is probably
a little early, sure.
Not bad, especially since last game we never even saw the Infernus come out, and so I mean I'm guessing Moosemandude was hoping to hit the Ganger Chieftain with it, but maybe it just didn't draw it.
Right, especially that timing, like we saw in the first game, that timing of the help from future self, which no matter where it finds or doesn't find the time traveler, will always shuffle the discard pile back into the deck, which is great discard pile tech against Infernus.
Yeah, for sure. We see best card in the game.
Well, the most useful Bumblebird on the Crucible in the game, that's for sure. An enhanced Bumblebird. Yeah. Very cute. Shout out to that Natalie Russo art. That was the matte art, the playmat art on the top eight for the Nova Championships, the U.S. Championships. In the before times, shout out to in our chat. We have at least one top eighter in our chat, Hyper946, who top eighted there.
Very nice.
Lost in the Woods. Interesting. Shuffling. I assume there's not another alpha in Untamed. Yeah, I'm not seeing another alpha in Untamed there. So, because it would be a question of whether or not you do even want to target the Bumblebird there. I guess you'd have to if you ended up playing the Bumblebird, of course, but.
Yeah, and reclaims their own Fangtooth. So a little bit of an Amber Burst there, but
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going up to 5, not quite to check. Time Traveler and ZYX coming down on Moosemandude's side. If you haven't seen it, I made a pump-up training video for Hyper. We traveled to that event together, and I was not in top cut, but we needed to go just get pumped up, and so we went to a playground next to the hotel, and I made a silly little, a fun and silly pump-up training video for Hyper.
Training montage.
Training montage. It was quite a lot of fun.
Was it the classic Rocky music, or?
It wasn't the Rocky music. I made it all on my phone in an app. So we have a Gateway discarded Drekker coming back down Stirring Grave with no target, I believe.
Yeah, everything has been shuffled or bounced so far on Not2Night side.
Check at 6 with a Drekker threatening.
Yeah, and we have seen like that check is going through.
Mm-hmm.
Rector does not have a good way to stop that unless you go in Brobnar and fight with a Groke.
Yep.
But a very fast Time Traveler reshuffle.
That's right. Time Traveler reshuffling, help from future self going to find it. Cutthroat Research being played for the Amber. We do have, we have nothing in archives, sadly, here. So ZYX just taking out Drekker, not living up to its fullest and most beautiful potential.
Yeah, and we do see the first key for Not2Night and a check for Moosemandude. We'll see if that goes through, but with Untamed, it definitely is. I don't see any. We got a Pismire, so we could see the key stopped here, but
that's right.
We'll see what happens.
Bumblebird and Gloriana's Attendant and Floof coming down. Cephaloist.
Wow. So this is already the biggest board we've seen from this deck so far, right?
Yes, that's exactly
4
right,
creatures.
Ryan. That's exactly right. 4
and it's
entire
still
creatures.
Still probably not big enough to stop a Brobnar turn from going, because we got these 2 1-power creatures, especially if there's like a Bramo or something. It could just be...
Yes, depending on what other support would be in that Brobnar house. So Moosemandude with the Forge, of course. Lava Ball.
Oof, or the Lava Ball
doing a lot of cleanup. Drummer Knot onto the ZY.
Ooh.
Okay, actually just dropping the Drummer Knot and a Gauntlet, and that's the Brobnar turn. So we'll see what the Wilkie's response is here. Because Wilkie, of course, is the one with the Infernus and plenty of removal. A Gateway Infernus could take it out all at once, or a Skixuno could simply prep it. But we are going into Untamed. Reclaimed, purging the Gauntlet. That's fantastic.
And that's both reclaim now, right? So we could still see... Right. I mean, there's still the Borrow in deck.
Yes, that's both reclaimed. You're correct. And so with a bit of reaping out there, getting up to 4. Moosemandude also Untamed. Nox, Teliga coming down.
To me, this is just setting up for a pretty big board clear play, right? Whether it's a Gateway or Skixuno. Can't hit... You can't completely cripple the Drummer Knot combo because there's 2 Drummer Knots and only 1 Ganger Chieftain, but you could at least ping one of them.
That's right.
Make Moosemandude dig for the other. We see a discarded Gateway here.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing though. We see the discarded Relentless Creeper. We'll see if this is a gateway or a Skixuno play. I guess the Skixuno is going to get huge regardless. Yeah.
Yep. There's
And
Skixuno.
nice steal off the Techno Fiend there too.
That's
but
right.
not check, and still no gambling dens down. So these are
Yep. And with active player choice there, that Teliga and that Skixuno ability would queue up at the same time, and then that Skixuno ability, of course, removing Teliga from play before it can get one off of there.
Yeah.
Ooh, Wild Wormhole, Moosemandude with a huge moral failing, playing Wild Wormhole in a game of Keyforge here. It's the library though, so I suppose that's forgivable. The Keyforge, the architects have been merciful on Moosemandude. Not like what happened with the key charge to Not2Night in game 1.
That is true.
See ya, Hyper. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Not sure if I'm in a position to take sides on that card yet, but considering you have been gracious enough to let me join on here, I should probably affirm that it is the worst card in the game. You should never play it or be associated with it.
It's okay. You can flip flop depending on who you're with. That's fine. Wilkie with the Seeker Needle coming down the Vandalize to. Oh, there's a cat at my feet. It's very cute, very asleep.
Oh, Vandalize hits the Ganger Chieftain.
Oh,
that's huge.
That is a good hit.
We know there's still another regrowth, so we could get it back, but if that Infernus comes down next turn, that could be a huge blow, because we saw how important that combo was to last game, right? Like,
that's right.
That Amber Gen is so big. And we see Pincerator, which did not come down last game either.
That's right, it didn't.
Not sure if it's super impactful in this game. Both decks kind of want to see the other one.
Well, yeah, who has the I believe it's this deck that has the Brabble, because playing a Brabble is guaranteed 3 Amber loss with Pincerator.
That's very, very true. I actually I appreciate that combo a lot, and thanks for reminding me.
Yep.
Does also limit the Coward's End, as we just saw.
That's right. Yep. Tremor coming down to stun. Yes, it's the Coward's End eliminating everybody else. Flame Wake dealing 2 to the Skixuno, then the Pincerator finishing off the other.
Those are the last of your combo pieces. So again, very vulnerable spot for Moosemandude here. Not a bad board. Like, this board could just sit here and do work for a little bit, because you can heal the Groke if you want to keep fighting with it. But I mean, Not2Night has to even play a creature small enough for Groke to fight in.
Yes, and Not2Night really has removed a lot of the tools that we're going to take Brobnar from. That's a solid board to that's a game-winning board, right? There's no Gauntlet. There's the Ganger Chieftain is in the discard pile with the second Drummer Knot. So as far as gas left in the tank goes, I think Not2Night is in a really strong position here, because this deck can make Amber, can just make Amber without too much of a board. There's enough pips and enough tricks to maybe get across the finish line here.
To go back into Shadows, is that Shadows 2 turns in a row? It is. Even with that whole board getting destroyed, we see the Vandalize coming in again. Ooh. Must just be looking for some of those combo pieces, except what's even left, because the key charge is gone.
If there's enough, if there are enough, okay, what's just gone in here? Coward's End and Tremor? No, they're still resolving, I think.
There's some damage pips on it, I think.
Yep. And probably doing some math with those damage pips and maybe a Seeker Needle. So, but if there's enough juice in Shadows to get to check here, that could really put Moosemandude on the back foot, as Moosemandude has to pick whatever Amber control play is in his hand. And that would really start to limit his options and paint him into a corner while he's only on 1 key 3 Amber, only halfway to victory here.
We do see a Foozle getting hit by the Vandalize there, just trying to limit the strength of that Brobnar board. But I was going to say, we do have some more artifacts with Amber pips that could be coming down.
Yes,
so we did see. So we see one, and there's the other Gambling Den that we know just has 2 pips. So
that's right.
Moosemandude, lucky it wasn't that one, but this is a tentative check right now.
That's right, because they did draw up. She drew up 3 cards at the end of the turn, so there might be some. There's only 5 cards left. There might be some helpful math on, like, they might be able to guess it and just win the game if there's no if there's no amber control. Darna coming
Love
down
it.
to gain 2 amber twice.
Oh, and she
Nepentine
gets
Nature's
the
Call.
disc
Oh,
call.
there it is. There it is. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Not
There was
tonight.
not even hesitation.
Not tonight with the 2-0. What did Not Tonight's deck look like at the end to just take it right there? Counting the discards real quick, Skixuno. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, they were all literally. It was that draw pile. Okay, between the 11 cards in hand and draw, there were 5 discards.
Okay.
So depending on what was in hand.
Yeah, you could be almost certain.
That's right.
Or at least like good enough. I mean, like, yeah, again, didn't hesitate. We can ask what it looked like if they're willing to come on here. But wow, a solid 2-0 there from Not
Very
Tonight.
solid.
Flashbacks again. I don't know why I keep commentating these when I just keep seeing people that beat me winning again. It's brutal, but also awesome. That was a very I mean, that's Rector. Like, you see Rector and you see Not Tonight play it, and it's just like it feels brutal, and then you get it and it just feels so clunky. And I think that's the mark of a great adaptive deck. But yeah, Moosemandude lamenting not seeing the Ganger in the right timing, which is
That's
just
right. Didn't have the luck to draw into it, and then of course Not Tonight removed any luck factor with the Vandalize in that late part of the second game. Yes, with getting Ganger out of twice in the first game. So definitely a major part of the recipe that culminated in a delicious 2-0 straight out of the Keyforge oven here.
And let's see. Looks like we've got Moosemandude in the waiting room.
Fantastic.
We'll see if Not Tonight can come on here.
So, chat, give me just a minute. I'm going to transition us over to our interview scene and then take a second to get everything going there. So we'll see you all over there in just a moment. Okay. All right. 1, 2. I think you all can hear me. Chat, it is registering. Ryan, just say Keyforge is awesome and I love it so much.
Keyforge is awesome and I love it so much.
Fantastic. Okay, so chat, you should have our audio coming through. I'm gonna go ahead and pull Moosemandude in here. Excellent. Hey there, Moosemandude. How are you?
That was a wild game.
That was a wild 2 games for sure. So let's see. That was so you brought that double gambling den deck, right? And with so much creature control against the vandalizes and the vandalizes and a lot of other tricks there. The gang or not. What in your mind coming into this match, what were the most important parts of the matchup? What were the biggest factors that you were going to look out for as these 2 decks interact?
So I got the chance to test this matchup because if you're playing Not Tonight, you got to be prepared for Rector. And
that's right.
What I found was the key is the Gang or Not combo. When you have so many board wipes, like, you're going to leave your board empty. And then if you get behind 60 bird because they get to pull off the full combo, that's not very good for the deck. So the key is trying to set up the board with creatures that are going to either slow it down or make it so it's not possible, which is very against what the 5 board wipe deck wants to do. But you kind of have to play this weird sub game of just trying to avoid the Gang or Not combo at all costs. So, and the best way to do it is to discard it with Vandalize, as we saw in game 2.
That's right.
So did you consider switching decks because of that? Or is this, well, I mean, one, is this the deck that you used throughout the season? And is this kind of the one you just felt most comfortable with? Or did you just like other tools in this deck against that, even though there was that interplay of the gateways and stuff leaving you open?
So I play this deck every game this season, and it won me 5 games in a row, so I am a fan of it.
Excellent.
But yeah, so knowing that I needed to play around that, I thought if I managed to sneak out a win in game 1, And the odds that I win game 2 are really high, because you can just play into the Gang or Not, and then you win 2-0, which is good. So I didn't want to switch off this deck to something I was less comfortable on, and sometimes you get weird games that are just hard to replicate from the opponent. So it's just a very weird adaptive deck.
Yeah.
I do see we have Not2Night in the waiting room now. I don't know. I still haven't figured out how to bring him in.
Oh,
do you know how to do that?
I've got it. Yes. Bring them right over here. Hello there, Not2Night. Welcome to the post-game interview.
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We were just talking with Moosemandude about the matchup, and as Moosemandude, as he looked at the matchup coming into this, what he thought the major factors would be in the matchup to watch out for, especially in an adaptive match. In looking at this matchup as you came in, what were the things you identified as the key interactions you were going to have to watch out for?
You know, I knew that at some point they are gonna draw into Infernus, and I was wondering what they are going to purge, and I was very aware of what was in my discard pile and was trying to shuffle it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I managed to avoid it. But when I played Terra deck, I also did not draw into Infernus, nor the Mark of this, which was another card that yeah, could potentially be really bad.
Yeah, it's really interesting that neither of those cards really played much of a factor in either game, because that does change it a lot, especially the ending of game 1 just doesn't happen if the Infernus play goes off like on time, right?
The problem with a -4 speed deck is you don't actually see all the cards in your deck most of the time.
Sure.
Yeah. That's right. You know, my deck at the end of game 2 was all this save one card. So
that's right.
Yeah.
We did that counting, and out of the 11 cards in your hand, and then the in your hand and discard pile, we did a quick count. We knew there were 5 discards left, so it sounded like you knew there were 4 in your deck. Wow.
Yeah. I was debating whether to play the Gambling Den at Alver versus Rector, because this is a deck that I really fear. I know this deck so well, and it's always so stressful to play against it. And playing the Gambling Den against it, I think it's very risky. So only because I was ahead, and I knew that my deck is gonna be just great, that probably I will be able to forge the key with the den.
Yeah. Gambling Den, I loved looking at its use in both games for this matchup, because in my mind, and perhaps Moosemandude, you'll agree with this because you brought a double Gambling Den deck, Gambling Den is a high skill card disguised as a gimmick card, and I mean perhaps it's a bit of both. And Moosemandude, there was you discarded your second Gambling Den in game 1. It's got an enhanced amber on it. Why did you stick with just the one Gambling Den instead of going up to 2?
That was an incredibly painful decision. I love having both of them in play.
Yeah.
But I thought if I play the second one and Not2Night hits on any Gambling Den flips, I'd just lose on the spot.
Sure.
I don't have the time that I need to build back into a win. I think I was down a key at that point. So that just makes my odds a lot worse.
Yeah, that was totally right. Like free Ember for Rector. Yeah.
There was also the Fangtooth discard that happened early in game 1, and then Not2Night, you purged it when you had it, right? So what was the thinking there for both
There's
of
a
you?
great reason for that. So Fangtooth Cavern, very good in the deck. However, when you play Skixuno, your Fangtooth Cavern then kills it, which makes you very weak to Gang or Not, as I mentioned, as a key in the matchup.
Right.
Skixuno otherwise is very good because it's a 7-power creature that Drum or Not cannot kill in a fight. But when you have the Fangtooth, it's very bad.
It was an asset, and I totally copied it from my opponent.
Classic adaptive strategy there. Classic adaptive strategy.
I mean, it's kind of a simple reason, like with this Kiksuno, but I did not see that. So like, thank you for showing that, because that's like, yeah, it makes total sense now. But I was very, very curious.
Yeah.
I was also really lucky not to have to use any of the gateways because I did not get the negative impact from the chains. So I think it worked really well for me in game 2.
Sure. So we've got, of course, the drummer or the gang or not moments happening or not happening right in game 1. I believe there was 2 gang or not. The gang or not combo went off twice. In game 2, it didn't get drawn into, and then of course that vandalize removed the Ganger Chieftain from the equation. Not2Night, you were talking about not having to use the gateways to dis and avoiding those chains. Were there any other kind of pivotal moments where either of you had your heart kind of rose or sank because you just recognized a pivotal moment happened?
I think that second game or not, I just want to dive into it a little bit more because it was really the combo of cards. Because if I was looking at it, and because I saw the game or not get put back into hand, I saw the drummer not get archived. If that's all that gets played, Not2Night makes a lot of Ember, but has to fight the shoulder id, which puts me to 4, which lets me forge off of the Gambling Den, because I had been hitting the same card like 3 turns in a row at that point. So I thought I was going to win for a second there, and then the amazing play of the self lava ball into a coward's end.
That's right.
Was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, right. And I do just want to applaud the. I mean, you obviously are someone who has played with Gambling Den a lot because, like you said, you had it was the same card for 3 turns in a row, right? Where you knew the Cephalois was on top. Like, you played that so awesomely. And so shout out to that because that was beautiful. Just awareness there.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great, but on the other hand, it does not progress your game plan a lot, you know.
That's true.
And I don't know. You just need the board presence against Rector to survive, and I don't think there is time for keeping your top card intact, I guess. I also noticed that this was a great trick that you did in game 1 with the Vandalize, that you put a Brobnar card on top. And this was like, when I was choosing the Gambling Den choice, I think, no, there's no way they put a Brobnar card on top for me in this situation. And you did. So, yeah. I did exactly the same. Trying to,
trying to
maybe thinking that you will think that I will do it differently, or just a fun thing.
Yeah,
I really appreciate bringing a Gambling Den to adaptive because it's such a fun card.
It is.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of very specific strategy and considerations with it, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. Was there any other comment or shout outs you wanted to make before we wrap up?
Thanks to both of you for an awesome cast. I'm sure I can't wait to watch the VOD.
Oh. Yeah, same. I'm really happy that you got to cover our game, and shout out to Murph for running KAGI, which is absolutely my favorite format and tournament to play in.
That's awesome.
And all of my team, which are amazing.
And what team is that you're shouting out?
That's Sloppy Lab Work.
Sloppy Lab Work. Fantastic.
And there are all 3 of you still? Oh, let's see. Was there 3? Oh no, because JDG and QuickDraw had to go against each other, unfortunately. But still 2 Sloppy Lab Works in the race. So
Very
we'll
nice.
see what happens.
Rooting
But
for the final. Sloppy
That's
final.
That's fantastic. Yeah, big thank you to Murph for running the whole thing, for having Orion and I on, and yeah, Orion, thanks for joining me.
yeah, sure thing. Thanks for having me, Zach, and thank you players again for letting us do this. I love getting to do this. It's so fun, and it's like you said, Not2Night. This format is fantastic. Like I love adaptive. It's one of the most painful ones to lose, but it's just so fun to
So
play and to
true.
watch. So yeah, great time again. Thanks to Murph for organizing this because it's a blast.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody and listeners. Well, watchers, viewers, dear viewers. Remember, Keyforge is a game of friendship, but not of mercy. Have a good day.